Good morning to my fabulous YouTube scrapping community. I'm going to take you on the day in the life of a part-time scrapper. So I have Fridays off from my, real job. It's just a part-time job too, so I can do scrapping at night. I got my cup of coffee. I've got an apple to snack on later. Got my gloves in there, magnet in my pocket. I've got several little scrapping errands I need to do. Go to the dump, go to the scrapyard, of course, load up some scrap before I go to the scrapyard. I got to take a couple packages to the post office, things that my husband sold on eBay, and I'm just gonna take you along with me for the ride. All right, I'm gonna put on my boots and head outside. All right, this is what we're gonna be loading up and scrapping with today, this truck, because the dump truck is full of leaves. These are our backyard leaves from this big maple tree. And then those two maple trees are in the front yard, and my husband raked that all up, and that's what's in the dump truck. So I'm gonna hopefully, there's one of the many feral cats we have in our neighborhood. Last night after dark, I was able to semi-process some of the stuff from the house, like the scrap metal, but it was, even though it has sat outside in the rain and the wind, it reeked, and I'm talking metal and cords, and it still stunk. So I did very minimal processing. Any brass I pulled off, aluminum, and the cords, but I did not pull anything apart. It's just gross. But I also have some stuff back here behind the shop. My husband and I think it was in September, maybe August, we're out here cleaning up some of the stuff in the shop, and I've got a pile of scrap to go through over there. So I'll load that up since I'm going to the dump anyway. And what I got from the house was kind of insignificant, but there's still some more to take. We're starting out with a fairly empty truck, or bed, except for leaves. Got a couple aluminum cans. And then, see, this is the tiny little scrap pile. There's some stuff hidden by the leaves. Okay, look at this big honkin' thing I found. It's a giant transformer. I haven't scraped this to see if it's aluminum or copper, but on the sides it's copper, so I'm assuming and hoping that that's copper too. I mean, can you tell by the size of my hand and the size of it's humongous, and it weighs a lot. I have no idea what it's off of. I asked my husband. He doesn't even remember having it. Oh my goodness. And I thought it was a pretty awesome find. And then if you wait a short time, you'll get it for free. Somehow, while doing this and checking things out, I lost my magnet. Then I found this in the pile of scrap, which is a magnet. I've got a little bit of brass. I gotta take the steel parts off of it. I found aluminum screws, several more than this. I've got a little bit of dirty brass, and then I've got the wires, and then that's steel. I got to pull that off. Found a little bit of aluminum besides the cans. There's a piece of dirty aluminum and a couple pieces of clean aluminum, and then a couple things and some wire cord. Some things I thought might be motor instead of scrap steel, which last time they gave me 9 cents for motors, 9 cents a pound. We'll see. Not sure what it is either, but there is copper, brass wires on it. And some more brass, dirty brass. All right, I stopped at my Tribute, grabbed a box and a bin, a little recycle bin that they now give to me, and a box. And so there was a little bit of scrap, a chain, and that metal strapping. But these are some other things I got out of there. A couple good pieces of copper. This thing, I'm going to pull this apart. I'm not going to take it in today, but this is I believe you'd call it an aluminum heat sink, just like you see on the computer boards, but I want to see what's inside of there too. So, aluminum, and then I got a little bit of wire, a little bit of brass. I'm not sure if those are brass or copper, but these are brass. I think these are stainless because they're heavier than aluminum. They're non-magnetic. And then I got two cool weights. This one, 1 pound, and then I got a really neat one that's 2 pounds that has brass in the middle. And then there's some copper and brass on this stuff that I'm gonna yank off before I take it in. And this here is something that they use. It comes, we get big totes of rice syrup, I believe, and it heats it to keep it from getting, I don't know, hard or too hard to pour. So there's a nice cord I'm going to tear off, and then there's wire that runs through the whole thing that I'm going to tear out. I don't think I can salvage the aluminum foil. We'll see. This is the steel pile that I have from last night. This is how I broke it down last night. Well, some of this is from the stuff I got out of the shop this morning. I just spent some time breaking it down too. So here's my brass. There were a few aluminum cans behind the shop, but that's the dirty brass, clean brass. This is the wires and cords and stuff like that. They smell so bad. I'm not going to strip them, and I'm not going to separate them between, good, big, thick cords and smaller wire. I just don't care. I want to get them gone. This is all aluminum from cleaning out the kitchen. I broke down a couple of the handles, but if it took any time at all, I just tossed it because it smelled bad. This is what I think would be, you can't see in there, sheet aluminum, or I was thinking these were brass, but they're really light, so I'm assuming it's dirty aluminum. Here's some good, I guess you call it extruded aluminum. We'll see. They're really good at the scrapyard helping me break things down. This is all just steel. I know that I could have broken down some of this stuff. I hope they'll even take it. There's a printer in there. There's 2 monitors, a keyboard, mice, speakers, and a computer. And I just didn't want to touch it any more than I had to. And this is just scrap steel as well. I kept putting the little stuff in there that might fall through and pop someone's tires. There were a couple of tools. I pulled the cords off. I don't know if the sun is too bright for you to be able to see it. My husband didn't want them, so I'm gonna see some. I heard somewhere that they might give you motor prices, which would be better than steel. And then these, I'm gonna see if I can get the, what do you call them, adapter prices, or transistor, no, not transistor, I don't know. Anyway, you guys in the scrapping community know what I'm trying to say, so I think I'll get a little bit more for those. Alright, I'm loaded up. I've got it strapped down. Hope it's gonna be okay. Alright, here's what I did today. I got $51.16, and my goal, I always want to get, well, it used to be 45, and that was when prices are higher, but now I always feel like it should be 50, so I'm happy I got over $50. Barely, but I did. Okay, so I had 3 tiny little batteries that I got from work. That insulated wire is all the wire from the rental house off. And then that great big copper transformer was 33 pounds. I only got $3. Yeah, that's sad. 10 cents a pound, because it had a lot of copper on it. old sheet aluminum, contaminated stainless, that was a pot. Cast aluminum, that was all stuff from the rental place. I had a couple small electric motors, 9 cents a pound. Those were some of the stuff from my husband's garage. And the yellow brass and the contaminated brass was mostly stuff from the shop clean out. Some of it was from, just a little bit of brass was from the other. And then the mixed tin. So it's 50, still 50 and at 10. She told me that they only change it at the beginning of the month. So I've heard that December is supposed to be a better month. So maybe next month I'll get a little bit more. And I did get a sheet from her here that gives all the prices. And apparently this is from October 17th. She said they don't change it often because I guess it's too difficult to go up and down, but I'm going to put some of these prices up on the iScrap app. So that's all the non-ferrous on that side, and then this is the tin. So cardboard, 2 cents a pound, same as shred. Mixed tin. So, all right, that's what I got. That's my day. That's my morning. My day's still gonna move on. And I want to do that. I filled up my coffee cup. They have good coffee here, and it's nice and hot. And the sun is shining today. This morning I started out with hat and gloves. The sun came out, then I was wearing hat, gloves, and sunglasses. And then I was just down to sunglasses. And then I got a new scrapping shirt because I got a hole in my shirt. So this will be officially my scrapping shirt from now on. I'm at the post office, getting out of my truck. I see a flat aluminum can. So we're gonna pick that up. And scrapping day continues. The sun is going down. I just brought this home and emptied it. And then I just put the little bit of garbage that I had on the yard, in the yard, sorry. I already found 2 more little pieces of scrap metal that was buried under this thick grass. So I can start on that in the morning. I'm gonna go home, make some homemade chicken noodle soup, and then get cleaned up. I did not go into the house after I went to the dump. I didn't go back into the house after I went to the dump because it is like 4:30 or something, 5 o'clock, and I don't want to stink like cat. So I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna make soup and get cleaned up and go on a date with my husband. End of a perfect day.